Hello everybody, welcome to the Samsung Galaxy Ring video review, part 1 of 2 parts. First I'd like to say that I will be selling this phone on eBay as soon as I am done reviewing it, so as soon as you see part 2 up, you can check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/funzier1, and I will have the link to it on eBay on there. So, if you're interested in buying my review unit for probably less than it was on from the Virgin Mobile itself, then please check out my Facebook page as soon as you see part 2 up online. Alright, so first of all, this is a $180 phone from Virgin Mobile. The design is very simple and elegant. It's very shiny and it looks sleek, but yet it is also clunky. So you can see it's a pretty thick phone, and it feels light and cheap. So the feel is not amazing. It doesn't look incredible, but it looks decent and respectable. It's got nice rounded edges. It's not ugly. This thing has Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, a 4-inch 480 by 800 pixel screen, 1750 milliamp hour battery, Snapdragon S2 single-core 1.4 gigahertz processor. It is in fact single-core. Some people have been saying that it's quad-core, but I can tell by using it. First of all, this is definitely not anything more than single-core. It does not perform even like a dual-core device, as I'll get to later. Lag and doing multiple apps and all that stuff. So, just something to keep in mind, it is single-core as listed on Virgin's website, and many other websites, though some places say quad-core, and I'm not sure why. It is a Snapdragon S2 processor, which is single-core. So just to clarify that. And then also it has 4 gigabytes of internal memory, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and a micro SD card slot that does not come with anything in it. Also, it has a 5 megapixel camera in the back with a flash, and it has a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, and the rear camera does 720p HD video. This phone has 3G, no 4G, as shown on the box. On the box, it does not say that it's a 4G capable phone, but the picture shows 4G on the screen of the phone, which is a lie. There is no 4G with this device, just 3G. Something I'm going to touch on quick, the battery. Battery life, while I'm at it, battery life was not great with this phone. Standby, it's pretty good. It doesn't lose a lot of charge, but when you start using it, I just took it off the charger. But it will start losing charge pretty quickly, especially when on 3G over Wi-Fi. So, let's take a look at the messaging app quick. Oops, sorry about that. Messaging, and something I'm going to mention quick, the brightness on this phone, the auto brightness seems to have it a little dimmer than I'd want it usually, which is interesting, so I'm going to turn that off. This might be a little bright, but again, it seems to have it a little too dim for my taste. Okay, so messaging. Let's go back here. Hold on a second. Alright, so here you've got Samsung's messaging app, the plain messaging app from Samsung. And this phone has a horrible built-in keyboard. It is the Samsung keyboard, as you can see. And the keyboard is incredibly slow and laggy. And I think that's just the phone, not just the keyboard. But it is incredibly slow and laggy to type, always, wherever you are, not just the messaging app. Also, this keyboard has the swipe-like functions, so you can see right there, it can do swipe. And also just normal typing, but the autocorrect is horrible, and the screen is a bit small for my taste, so it's kind of hard to get your fingers on all these keys. And I find the Google keyboard a lot easier to use. You can get that from the market for free, or from the Play Store, sorry. But again, very laggy in general, and you can't do any slow, moderate or fast typing. Let's see if I can try it. I don't know if you can tell, but it is lagging quite a bit, and it's actually not bad today, but you can see. Well, it is lagging, and I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it's lagging when I'm typing now, and the vibrations on the keys, if you have that on, they lag quite a bit. And this is actually not bad. Usually it's much laggier. So again, I would not recommend this phone if you do a lot of messaging. It makes it a little better to turn it in landscape mode, but again, it's still laggy. The screen's bigger then, but it's still lots of lag. So now let's move on to the web app, and it does come with Chrome and the browser, wherever it is. I use Chrome. It's just a much more sophisticated, much faster browser, so I do not use the web browser. But let's just see what we've got. We'll just use the page that's up for our review page today. We'll give it a sec to load. Loading times I found were incredibly slow on 3G on Sprint compared to the Galaxy S3 and all the other phones that I've been using lately that use on Sprint's 3G network. So just something to keep note. The lack of 4G is somewhat disappointing, and even the 3G on this is slower than normal. So it looks like there's mostly just text on here, but you can see pinch to zoom is not bad. There's a little bit of lag before it starts to zoom. I don't know if you can tell, and mostly that's even worse when you get to pages with pictures. You can see there's a little lag there, but it's not too bad. Overall browsing is a bit fidgety. It'll get kind of clunky and jumpy when you are scrolling. Right now it seems to be doing a pretty good job on this page. Here it's deciding not to really work anymore. I guess I clicked something. So that is that. And also again, there's lag when typing and a lot of lag when trying to scroll, but doesn't seem to be doing that now, which is nice. But when you're on more pages with pictures and more content, ads and stuff, that will slow this browser down and it'll be a pain to use. Something to keep in mind. And again, 4G, the lack of 4G is not helpful. So again, this phone now has Samsung TouchWiz, which is, it adds things like where you can pinch and get your home screens. It adds apps like Memo and music player, Samsung apps, which is just a Samsung app store. Looks like that's about it. I might be missing one, but not too much extra is added on this phone. This phone really does not have a lot of extras. It has little things like adding the battery percentage indicator, but no fancy apps where you can write on the screen and all that fun stuff. You get the weather widgets, you get the lock screen lag there, you see? You get the lock screen thing where you pull stuff up to open it and all that. But again, not too many Samsung features on here as opposed to the Galaxy S3 and S4 where there's all sorts of features, but you're not going to see too many cool apps or anything on here. Well, thanks for watching. Let's pull out my little sheet here that I made. Thanks for watching. It really does help a lot when you watch these videos. Please come back for part 2, and then if you're interested in buying this phone, check out my Facebook page. As soon as I'm done filming part 2, I will put it up on eBay. Also, please subscribe. That, again, helps a lot. Follow me on Twitter at Funzier1. You can check out my Facebook page for photos from all these phones and, news on my reviews and when I buy new phones to review. And you can talk to me on Facebook and ask me questions and all that sort of stuff. So it's a good place to go. That's facebook.com/Funzier1. Also, I started a new blog which has news from Virgin Mobile and Boost Mobile, mostly of upcoming phones and big changes. That's prepaidnews1.blogspot.com. Again, thanks for watching.